Hurry.
Okay, it is 6 o'clock on April 8th. I'm gonna call the board meeting to session, noting the absence of Adriana Diachenko, Larry Herman, and Stacy Mazurek. They should all be here, but just a little late. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of March 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Flickning?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the executive board meeting minutes of March 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Flores?
Yes.
Flickning?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next is I need a motion to approve the April 2024 expenses as submitted.
So moved.
Second. Flickling? Hanson? Yes, excuse me. Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is the treasurer's report.
Alrighty. Balance in the super now account at First Community at the end of March was $3,149,979.35. The outstanding checks at month end totaled $182,163.21. February payroll, March payroll carryover, $28,994.36. We had an IMRF adjustment for 12 cents, leaving the adjusted bank balance at month end at $2,938,821.66. Lunch program balance, $101,235.47, and impress fund balance, $5,000, and the total balance at $3,045,057.13. The investment accounts totaled $5,277,564.37, leaving the balance of all district funds as of 3/31 at $8,322,621.50. March receipts totaled $2,507,055.50. Expenses were $1,271,127.52. The individual fund balances at month end: education fund, $4,432,146.90. Building fund, $1,805,613.73. Transportation fund, $823,275.65. IMRF, $91,567.40. Working cash, $267,426.45. Tort fund, $324,002.25. And life safety, $578,589.12. Interest earned at First Community was $72,4774. And we had just a few distributions from the state. State aid, $314,122. State aid previous year, $49,3442. School lunch program, $15,680.85. State free lunch, $76.52. There were no real estate tax distributions. The fund balances are in the packet.
Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
So moved.
Second. Flickling?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, I have no papers for public comments. So I'm guessing no one wants to do that one. We do have some guests to recognize. I know we had the junior high volleyball. If we have anyone here for that, Dr. Quasi, do you see anyone?
No, there were a lot of other athletic events and some other things going on after school. I think they're married to siblings, so unfortunately, anyone was able to make it.
There's one there.
Wait, is there one in the back?
Oh, no.
No? Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
I
I thought they put their hand up.
Okay, the next group we have is Miss Black for the growth of students, and You wanna explain what we're doing, or?
I will.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Something new we're trying to implement?
Well, we always just recognize a lot of junior high and high school students because they have lots of sports going on. We have a lot of great things happening at Beecher Elementary School also. I wanted to take a minute to recognize some students who have shown a whole bunch of growth on their STAR test. So STAR is one of the assessments that we give 3 times a year. We give it in both math and reading, and the students who I invited tonight, so we do that test 2nd through 5th grade, and I invited one person from each grade who showed the most growth in math or reading in their grade on this test. So I'm going to call them up and then I'll talk about their scores a little bit once they come up here. So from 2nd grade, I have Emma and Ryan. Come on up. From 3rd grade, I have Jenna, and I didn't see Logan. Come on up, Jenna. And Christopher. And from 5th grade, I have Omar and Mia. Mia and Omar, why don't you guys come stand in the back over here? So these students just combined, I didn't want to list everyone's score because it's probably really not allowed, but together, all of these students made over 60 points of growth on their STARS, either math or reading, and 4 of them made over 100 points of growth. And between they all, in only a 4-month period, so this is from September to January, so 4 months of school, they made either somewhere between 1.6 years and 3.8 years of growth in 4 months. So they did an awesome job. I know they are excited. So I'm going to give you guys your certificate. Do you want to take a picture now?
Absolutely. We'll have them kind of.
Go in there.
You actually did good today, girl.
Do you guys want me to have them just come
Yeah.
stand?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ryan, come over here.
Unlike the basketball team, they're shorter than us. So turn face that way.
This way, so we can take a picture. All right, Ryan. Come on. All right.
Pile in there, guys.
Cadence. All right, Kate, when have you seen that? All right, Chris, you can stand right there. Perfect. Yeah. Mia, yep, scooch on up, and then Omar. There we go. You guys can stand shoulder to shoulder for me. Scooch on up. All right.
So take steps back until we get to a table. If you hit a table, please don't break it.
You're right where you should be.
There you go.
Do one of my board members want to hold up Logan since he's that way?
Make sure you're holding it right under your chin so we can see. We can see your face and we can see
his name.
Perfect. All right, everyone smile.
Oh, sorry, camera's turned around. All right, I don't do counting, I just take 4 or 5 pictures, so Bob, I'm gonna count for you. 1, 2.5, 4, 3, smile. Miss Belt, smile.
I am.
All right, parents, if you wanna get in there.
Are we good, chickens?
Oh, we're good.
All right, great job, guys.
And families, that'll be put up on the website. If you go to our general website, you go to Board of Education, and you click on it at the bottom, you scroll down, you'll see pictures. That's where we're gonna be putting those. So you'll see the basketball from last month and then those kiddos from this month.
And I do want to congratulate the kids and the parents for that. That is a lot of hard work at home too. I completely understand that. So thank you for help partnering with the elementary and working so hard with your children.
I also did want to recognize, I know a lot of the teachers are here too, so thank you guys for coming and supporting your students.
And then we always, after you guys are recognized, we always kind of give you the option if you want to go, you can, because I don't know that you want to sit and watch the board meeting, but you're more than welcome to stay.
More than welcome to stay.
But don't feel obligated.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Mr. Heron, I think I need you to present, so if you want to stick around, Mr. Heron.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Dr. Heron, you can leave.
Ooh, Dr. Heron. Haven't
Oh,
been
yes.
called that yet.
Dr. Heron.
Only one of them turned around.
Not him.
And just like that, there's nobody here.
Oh, we still have some people hanging out. This is great.
No, just before you go to executive session. That's what I'm saying.
I was just making sure.
No, you're doing great.
Oh, I like that.
It was Miss Belt's idea, 100%, so
Yeah, that is a good idea.
all credit where credit is due.
Especially
I like not sports, academics.
The elementary doesn't get a lot of, because there's not much.
It's like herding cats.
It is. True.
Okay, next up are the staff reports. First up is Miss Black.
Who just,
Yep.
oh, no, she is still back there. I thought she stepped down.
My computer, that was the best part of my week. So I'm so glad so many were able to come. Just wanted to highlight a couple of things. We are starting IR testing this week, and I delivered a whole bunch of, I wouldn't say good luck, but some little boxes for the end of testing that we're giving to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders for all their hard work. And this year we've been working really hard about having our grade levels work together and have buddy classes. So I delivered the boxes to kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd graders who will be delivering them tomorrow with some good luck wishes and notes to their book buddy classes.
Oh, fun.
And then on our last day of testing next week, I doubt any kids are watching. So there's like a little a noise blower, a little Smartie, a note, and just some things for them to like hurrah, the test is over and we did our best. Officer Hansen finished his third round of lessons in all of our classrooms. And just kind of an update of what I'm working on for PD. May 1st is our next half day. We currently utilize STAR for our benchmarking. STAR has a lot of other pieces and new components that we have not learned all about and we're not fully taking part of. So we're learning a little bit more from them. We currently use Ames Web STAR's added some new components that will give us an ORF and the same test that we do with our kindergartners and 1st graders with how quickly they can go through their letters and their sounds and things like that. So we're hoping to learn some more about that, get on board with that, and then have one comprehensive benchmarking program for K-5. Right now we have a couple of different pieces that we
Do you get, I know they've added Freckle into it.
Mhm.
Are they giving you a trial or is that in there?
We
where
will
it
have a
gets-
trial for the rest of this year,
Okay.
and our teachers are going to learn a bit about that. It's really expensive.
That's what I wasn't sure. We have a trial too and I haven't, I just didn't know if it was part of the packaging or what it was.
It's really expensive. I haven't
Yeah.
talked about all of that with
Okay.
Dr. Graham yet, but we.
Well, I didn't know, I know we do IXL currently,
Right,
so and I
exactly.
wasn't sure if
And
that
that's-
was,
And that's
you know.
exactly kind of why it's the perfect time to look at that. This could take the place of Ames, which we're currently paying for. It could also take the place of IXL, which we're currently paying for. And so all those things are kind of pending right now. Looking, making sure our teachers like kind of this platform and how it looks, and then.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it. I just was curious if you guys had or anything like that.
I actually did, I had a phone call with a woman last week who showed me all the parts. It looks really great. Yep, I'm hoping, and that's a lot what we're gonna do on May 1st, and then we're also going to spend some time with some vertical articulation with the grade levels. I just spoke with SLT today about what types of things they would like to talk about, besides what we normally talk about at the end of the year, articulation. So it'll be on the agenda for May 1st.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, great, thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Dr. Cosney.
Just to start off, we have some different
updates for testing. We did complete our IAR testing before spring break. And I don't know if I spoke about this before, so pardon me if I have already mentioned it. We did some incentives with some raffle tickets on each day, and then at the end of all the testing for ELA, and at the end of math, we did some grand prize drawings. So surprisingly, we weren't sure how it was going to go over because, you know, sometimes junior high students think that nothing is cool and don't care about things, but they surprisingly did seem to try a little harder. The teacher, according to the teacher, so I was pleasantly surprised to hear that. We have the ISA testing for science next week, and then the week after that, we have our PSAT testing as well. Today, the solar eclipse went well. We gave the students their safety glasses. They went outside, students and staff, so we got to view that. So that was very fun for everyone. I wanted to do a little SRO Hansen update as well. He did teach some classes in health class this quarter, so that went over well, and he enjoys being in there too. And lastly, I wanted to touch series. We did a lot of research. The math team thoroughly looked through many different programs, and we had presentations as well in person and then also online. And Sabbath and Vision was the one that the team really felt would be the best for our students. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of the reasons why. And I know some of these are kind of standard, but some of them we thought were kind of interesting, unique components that we felt would work well for us. So of course, the higher order thinking and reasoning component and explaining answers, of course, we have to have that. Teacher and student friendly online components, an engaging website, visually pleasing, all of those things. We really liked how you could edit though the assignments, and you could edit the slideshows to allow for differentiation and just even look at meets the needs of your whole class or individuals within the class. So we thought that was cool. Sometimes you're kind of tied into a certain assessment for the whole group. We like that it was written by Pearson. A few other things were the data reports we thought were very nice in terms of seeing individual student progress, seeing the whole class and the whole grade levels progress as well. They had some ELL supports, and we had the ability to lock the student screens when they're working to kind of address any misconceptions and any thing that you feel like needs to be, just to stop the lesson to go over with everyone. So, I mean, there are a lot of other things, but those are the things that we liked about it the most, and that's why we are recommending that I think purchase for our students and for the teachers for our upcoming math series adoption. Did anyone have any questions?
I know you had a parent night that kind of invited people in. Did you have any kind of turnout for that?
No, unfortunately, we did not.
Okay.
But we had it, and we had a presentation.
Yeah, that's all you can do is offer it, and yeah.
Yeah, we put a lot of things together, but the math team did, but.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, next up, Mr. Meyer.
Here's some pictures from I didn't put them in on my packet, but these are some RVC/regional math team pictures. We just went to state Saturday, and
You emailed them out.
I'm sorry?
You emailed them out.
Oh, not these I did?
Is
Maybe I
Mr.
did.
Becker
Maybe
in
I
there?
did. I'm sorry.
Is Mr. Becker in one of them?
That's
Yeah.
RVC music.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot going on.
Okay.
She just wanted to say, we had 17 mathletes that competed in 6 events at state. She wanted to give a shout out to the seniors. Through COVID time and then the past 2 years going to state, they really worked hard, earned perfect papers and medalists through their mathlete careers. She said she missed their enthusiasm and talents. And she said, we were close to cracking the top 10 in the pre-calculus team. We were 3 problems short. So she's pretty proud of this particular group. So I just wanted to share, because I don't think I've shared pictures of the math team. Curriculum-wise, we've talked about what we're doing for math and trying to do better with the practice test. I sent out an email to all parents and kids today and staff today. Also, through cross-curricular, Mr. Heron does DBQs, which are document-based questions, and then lead into this essay. And I don't want to screw this up, but I saw that, so I'm going to read this. It's document-based questions. It's a timed essay. It's 7 to 12 historical documents, and then they write a thesis-driven essay that answers a problem. So basically, these essays, the document, you have to analyze evidence usage, contextualization, if that's the right word, complex understanding, historical argument. Students have 15 minutes to review the documents and then 45 minutes to write the essay response, citing at least 6 documents. The essays have clearly stated thesis, strong organization, multifaceted analysis, and integrate both to provide evidence and outside knowledge. So, I know that's a lot, but John, Mr. Herron is, I don't know if he's incorporating Mr. LaBanca and Mr. Du Bois in it, but I know John sees all the juniors and one sophomore class, and so he is putting that in his, he's had that in his curriculum, but I had him write a little bit within my presentation as well. So he is trying to help out the English department with some cross-curricular things. So we think that's important. He does a nice job. He was here and I should have had him present, but you know, I bailed him out. Lastly, and this is coming up, this was also in the parent letter, but next Tuesday, we're going to have an assembly with the Will County Coroner Lori Summers and the Will County Deputy Chief Coroner Mike Vanover, plus Officer Hanson, and maybe even Officer DeCourt, depends on if he can come. So with prom coming up, but that's not till May 3rd, but this is when he could come. So he's going to talk about some of the things he was going to talk about, obviously the dangers of drunken driving and possible overdoses. And then we believe one of the policemen that we are having show up has been at a wreck with a fatality due to drunk driving. And I know it's kind of a touchy situation, touchy subject. Parents are more than welcome if they don't want to have their 9th through 12th grader listen to this. They can call them out, but we think it is important. We're also going to have a car in the parking lot as soon as possible. With something on there. I don't know if we're gonna have a dummy in it or what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be pretty crashed up, and so they can see that visualization. We're not gonna go out there for this presentation, but it will be out on the drive, on the south part of the drive on the east side. So we're looking forward to that presentation. And again, not trying to promote, you know, and I know some people, oh my gosh, now you're promoting drinking and driving, you're promoting overdose, you know, because you're talking about it. And I don't believe that, but I believe that they need to know the consequences. And even if they're not going to prom, you know, with their parents, their friends, you know, whatever else. So we think it's good. Might even do something a little bit different next year. So I think that's it. Unless you have some questions.
How many were on the math team?
17 mathletes total. I think it's it. I think that was all. Well, they went to state. I think there might have been more. 17 just went to state. I'm not for sure on that picture if there are more than 17.
I think there's more than 17.
Yeah,
There's
no,
more
I
than
think
not
the
every-
17
yeah.
just went to state, so there might have been close to 30, I think.
That's a huge group.
It's a great group. We have a lot of, you know, freshmen, so it's a lot. Like we've talked about with this senior group, a lot's going to be leaving, excuse me, but Mrs. Chauvin does a nice job, so does Mr. McCord. They get those kids pumped up and organized, and we do 3 contests. So we do ours, we do the tournament, or sorry, RVC tournament, and then regionals, and hopefully state, so.
And there
Yeah, they
were
were pleased.
freshmen, sophomore at state as
Yes,
well.
correct.
So
Yep.
all,
So it's good, it's good. I'm glad they participate and compete, so, yeah. Way above my head, but not that guy.
did Mr. Heron, did anyone sign up for that trip that he was putting
17.
together? Oh, wow.
I think it was 17, I think I put that in there. Now, to tell you that all 17 are going to show up and follow through, I think what was funny was one of his comments that he made to me is he had a bunch of staff members that apply, or sorry, not apply, but
Say inquire about being a chaperone
yeah,
or
apply, that's not
whatever.
important, thank you for the verbiage. Yes, we're asking about that, so it's cool. I said I've done something, where I came from, we did like the Washington DC, but we'd go to New York City or Philadelphia or Gettysburg before. It's neat stuff. So.
I just didn't know if any parent, because
Yeah.
I was one of the 17
Yeah,
at the
yeah, 17.
presentation.
And then I
just
put in
didn't
there
know if
too,
they-
oh, I'm sorry, what?
I just didn't know if, because you had to sign up, like, I think that following weekend, so.
And I also, you know, left it open, I even kind of put it in there, let people
Okay.
see him if anybody else reads it. I mean, I'm assuming he'd probably take more want to go. It was, and I looked at his itinerary, I mean, it's top notch busy, top notch, it's good. And I'm not sure if he's done that where you guys came from, did he, okay.
Beecher's really made him a go.
Well, I'm telling you what.
It's that leadership here at
Yeah,
Beecher.
right, leadership.
200 years.
Starts at the top, everything starts at the top.
His neighbors.
But yeah. But yes, he asked about it, I think last year, and then it's like, you know, can I do it? And I was like, they do the legwork and see what happens, why not? So, and we've done it, when I was teaching here, Mrs. O used to take him Australia, I think, one year. Mr. Swarberg, if you guys remember him, I think went to like Austria or went to Germany or something. So I think somebody went to, one of the Spanish teachers, I think,
Yeah,
went
Ro
to
and
Costa Rica.
Oliva, they
So-
went on a trip.
So we've done it before, it's just been, and I guess after COVID now, maybe it'll start again. So, no, it's cool. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Dr. Gahan.
This guy. As I told you, it may have been last month or a few months ago, basically anything that's in my board report or my superintendent report, I now am starting to put it in other discussion items, so that way it kind of, in case, or like I forget to mention it during my report, it's actually gonna be part of the discussion. It's not necessarily an action item, it's not, we're moving forward on anything, but it's really important that if it's in my report to you guys, it probably should be out for everybody else to know about. The one thing I do want to report on, there was 3 FOIAs. I call them FOIAs. It was more one lady who reached out multiple times, even though I gave her the same answer every time. But she finally accepted the first time, and then it was all about the roofing bids. And then she followed up with, once the bids came through, because she had the results of the bids, and then the roofer union gentleman came and had a conversation with me, and then he foiled also those roofing bids. So that's what it was all based around, was the roof bids at the elementary school. And then, as I mentioned in my report, it's not in the board pack, but I do want to again congratulate the board on their sale of the bonds. We got it at 4.4% rate, which is obviously less than 5. The company did buy the other 0.6%, so there's a 5% on it. But as you'll notice in your investment portfolio that Ms. Gersh provides you, we have $2 million currently being invested at 5.3 and 5.4. Mr. Peters, help me. 5.34 and I think 5.4. Over 5%. So both of those $2 million that we currently have in our bank are earning us more interest than you will be paying for in that. And then we basically did the math on it. That 2.1 will basically be spent by August of this upcoming year. So it's not going to be, it's kind of work flow through. You also notice it's not on, it's not as part of your revenue. It's not, you'll notice it's not in your bank anywhere. That's because it's not a revenue source. We talked to our auditors Katie talked to John many times when she was working on the amended budget plus, because I'm like, hey Katie, there's no reason that your O&M file should be negative $600,000. We obviously have this money, and as John pointed out, you have the money, it's just not a revenue source. It's in the budget, but it's not deemed a revenue source. So when we talk about the amended budget a little bit later, that is where that goes. So everything nice, clean. Everybody was very happy, very impressed. And I was then told by Mr. Fretz, Nate, who you guys met, that the interest rate the next day was about 0.5% higher than the ones they were selling. So we got in at the exact right time. So very happy with everything. Anything else specific to my report that we may not discuss later? I don't think there's anything else in the report. But Mr. Meyer, did you want to invite the math team since they went to state for next month?
Sure.
You're the best.
Let's see, that would be May, yes.
Oh, it will be me.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, next is committee reports, and I asked something a little different this month. This is the first year we've done the kind of committees where every board member is kind of a liaison. We've always done kind of the Chamber of Commerce because we're a member. We've always done CARS for KACC because we're a member. But as far as having someone for the PTO and the Youth Commission, we really haven't done that before this year. So I reached out to every board member that's a liaison and kind of asked, could you talk to your group and kind of let's highlight what they've done this year. Let's make sure the community knows, like, how much did they fundraise? Like, what did they fundraise? What did they spend their money on? You know, how can you donate to help them? Because I think a lot of the times people aren't aware of how much time, energy, and effort goes into these groups that are all volunteer based. So I just kind of wanted to try to highlight them as kind of a recap. I figured May would be a little busy, so April would be a little better as the end of the school year, and just to try to help them as much as possible and kind of give them a spotlight since our meetings are streamed and not all of theirs are. So that's kind of what I asked everyone to do. So when we kind of do our updates, if you kind of throw out anything you want to throw out and do that. I thought it was a good idea. We'll see how it goes. I meant just to, I didn't mean it in any negative way. It was just trying to help. And one of the big things about this board, and even the last board that kind of came, was making sure we're transparent with the community, making sure we're communicating with the committee, and trying to build relationships, positive relationships within the committee and the school district. So that's where my mind thought was going with it, and hopefully that's how it's taken. And if we just want to go around, do you want to go, Ms. Mazurek, with the PTO?
With the BYC.
BYC, sorry.
That's okay. So BYC is actually doing really well this year. Typically in the past, well, first of all, the village usually gives us a disbursement every year. It's around about $4,000. Most of the other money comes from us being conservative when we're planning events or different fundraisers. This last year was very successful for us. We were actually, our funds, when we started our new calendar year, pretty much around summertime, we were pretty low, even after the disbursement. And so our dances are our biggest expense. They can be a few thousand each. So we actually were very grateful. 3 places partnered with us last year. Sit and Bowl hosted for us to have a fundraiser for Parents Night Out. It was very successful. I don't remember the exact numbers, but somewhere around 3,000-4,000. So it was really successful. And then Tony's also jumped on board, and they did a night where we were able to share proceeds, and then Buddies did. So with those 3, and us finishing our calendar year for this year with all of our events, it starts, like I said again, it starts over about June. We're actually, after the dances, right now we're sitting at 12,000, which is fantastic. So we were very successful this last year and hope that we can share these partnerships more. The biggest thing BYC struggles with is volunteers. So that's what we're really focused on this year and looking for, as well as youth advisors. We have 2, and they're leaving. So it's a really good opportunity for parents to talk to their students, their high school kids. We give the hours, they can earn their hours that way. Being a youth advisor also is one of those nice little things for the resume for college. There's just a lot of benefits to it. So I'm hoping that this year we can push volunteerism and hopefully get some more students in there, because that's what we're really lacking lately. But that's kind of where we're at. I'm really excited. This year we did pretty good. Thank you to those 3 entities.
And then next we have the PTO.
So, I have the treasurer's report, and then I have a list of things that they've done. So it looks like we've got about $35,000 in the bank, with about $13,000 earmarked for things that they're gonna do between now and the end of the school year. Which includes like the Kona Ice for Olympic Day, teacher class enrichment, art supplies for the teachers, playground improvement fund, stuff for the class parties and all that fun stuff. Their annual fall mum fundraiser raised close to $6,000, and the Spirit Wear they raised over $1,000. They provided the opportunity for like the first day school supplies, which is really nice. They did that drop shot game. I think that was bought last year with the Spirit, what's that called, Race Craze funds. They purchased school-wide snacks and drinks for each of the 3 holiday parties. Provided teachers with dinner from Happy Life Ranch during parent-teacher conferences. Created the art supplies fund to help teachers while we don't have the art teacher this year for art supplies. Hosted a Power and Kindness trunk or treat, or trunk at the trunk or treat. Gifted all BES teachers with an Amazon gift card to purchase classroom supplies. Monthly, they surprise the staff with lounge snacks or mailbox treats. They did the in-school holiday shopping. Gifted all BES staff a gift card of their choice for Christmas. And they also organized the holiday gift card program for the teachers to help sort of streamline gift giving for the teachers. Celebrated Leap Day with some fruit snacks and some fun like leaf day facts and little plastic frogs. They did the free bingo night and they provided all the prizes for the families, donated an outdoor movie themed basket for the Education Foundation dinner auction. And they're giving the 3rd through 5th graders treats during the IAR testing. And then plans for April and May to shower teachers with snacks, lunch, and a gift during Teacher Appreciation Week. And I did email them about May 7th.
Thank you.
Provide and serve hot dogs and chips for all the students for the end of year picnic, the concession stand on Olympic Day, and the Kona Ice for Olympic Day.
And they are doing Raise Craze now, still currently, right? I think,
know.
or no, they ended,
Not-
or no?
They decided this year not to.
Oh, okay.
Since they didn't have like a specific something they were fundraising for
Okay.
like last year, so they're waiting either for that specific something or like everybody.
Yeah.
just so they know. It's a really big moneymaker.
Yeah.
So mine kind of lose the luster. and really-
Yeah. Because last time it was the preschool equipment, right? That's what it went for? That's what I thought. Okay, and then, Ms. Dejanko's not here for the Booster Club, but I know they're
Want me to wing it?
forward, yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm just gonna,
Just what you
off the top of
remember,
my
that's fine,
head,
yeah.
Yeah, so this year was our first year, so it was kind of like a trial year. So we tried to, again, gather as much money as we can to see what we can get. So then for next year and starting now, we can start figuring out what we can donate and what we could do for the school. So some of the events we've done, we did a Fall Fest, we do the Chuck-a-Duck at the high school basketball games. Our biggest thing was banners that you see around the gyms at the high school and junior high, which I think it looks great. So we did that. So that was one of our biggest. That was a main money maker for that. We do have one more event possibly coming up this year, school year. And then with that money, we're divvying it up a certain way. We're still trying to figure out the logistics. As I said, this is our first year, what we're doing. But we did made our first donation to the schools, and those are the scoreboards for the baseball and softball fields. So they are here. They'll hopefully be up soon.
So I can give you an update on that. They were we had everything set, and ready to go for spring break. And apparently the big man upstairs did not want that to happen because he gave us 4 inches of rain. They tried to install it on Friday and sank the equipment into the ground.
I saw the equipment there. So.
And so we're kind of at the whim of the availability of the person who's going to install it. And so we're looking to get it done as soon as we can. We're probably closer to May, if I'm honest with you. But we're relying on the people who put it up to be available. It's not like Mr. Spinelli's putting it up for me. But we tried over break, that is for sure, and the rest will tell you, so.
And then with us too, just kind of like with BOAC, we are definitely looking for more membership. So it's a yearly thing, so our new membership will be open, I don't know what the date is, but July, August for new membership to come and be a part of the Booster Club. So look out for that information.
And then you do the Education Foundation.
Nope, scholarship.
Scholarship.
The scholarship, yes. So the scholarships that we give out to the seniors every year who apply for the scholarships. Last year we gave over $20,000 worth of scholarships, which is fantastic. And then this year we literally it was due, so I literally got my pack. So I'm in the process of reading all of the essays currently right now. And it's looking possibly to be about the same, but he said we still have to finalize reading all the scholarships. I do want to say though, we had 3 different scholarships that people could apply, the students could apply for, and only everybody applied for the 4-year college. We had 0 students apply for the trade at 1 and 0 for the 2-year college, which is a shame. So I hope hopefully maybe you get the word out more next year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's presented to the students if they know. Hopefully they do know that those were out there, but no one did apply for those.
It's
we
too
will
late to apply for them then.
Yeah. So hopefully next year we will get some people.
Yeah.
So, but that's where we're at. So we'll find out. I think we decide our next meeting is next week. So I think we finalize.
Because they'll know by graduation.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And the chamber, I know they did the golf.
Chamber, their main fundraiser is the golf, which our superintendent attends.
Oh, yes, yeah, doesn't win.
Oh, they give you a handicap.
No, they definitely don't. But I do get to chuck a chicken somewhere
You
along
did
the
win
way.
the chuck a chicken.
So,
Win some, you lose some.
And I believe, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike, to the new president, but I believe they are involved in the Easter egg hunt.
Yes, they host that, I know, right?
Other than that, their job is to promote the village and the businesses in the village.
Shop local.
Shop local.
Yep. Okay, I do the CARBS board, which is KACC, which is kind of like the Chamber of Commerce. We're just a part of it, so it's mandatory that we do those things. They are like a school. They have a budget, and it's a school. So they do have a fundraiser coming up. It's on April 11th. They're doing a Glow Bingo night that you can still buy tickets for if you want. It's $45 at the door if they're not sold out, if you want to end up going for that. They recently, since our last meeting, they had kind of their step up day where the 8th graders get to go on all of the schools that go in there. And there were over 1,200 8th graders attended the day, and they kind of tour and find out what are the programs you can do. Lots of times they have other programs on there, like they don't offer a vet tech aid, but they'll have a vet tech aid in there because you don't need a 4-year degree to do that. So they have lots of other jobs, so kids can be open to, if you don't want to go to a 4-year college, here's the things that you can do and the money you can make and what your job consists of. I always think it's fun. I went with 8th grade a couple years ago because it was for spring break, so I sponsored them, so since the teachers were on spring break, and I thought it was pretty cool. They also, on the 12th, they have their Emerging Workforce Day, and that's where they invite any business that wants to come to the gym, so all the high school kids can kind of walk around and they can apply for jobs. If they want, they can get interviews right there on the spot for those kind of students that just want to go to the workforce. And then their scholarship applications, because they offer 4 different ones for the seniors that attend KACC, is due April 19th. So it's still a little opening if the kids that attend KACC want to go and apply. But that's what they kind of do. And then last, now we have the Beecher Education Foundation.
Education Foundation. The Education Foundation just had their annual dinner event. So, but just going back a year, last year they raised $23,020 for that year. They dispersed I'm going to read it here so I get it right. The funds to the Beecher High School soccer team for the purchase of a VEO camera, tripod, and a subscription. And then they also provided funds to the Beecher High School Spanish class for the purchase of 60 Rosetta Stone software licenses. So those were items that they gave for the 23 school year. They just wrapped up their foundation dinner, and they raised $16,175. So that was a very fun event. And then I guess we will, I've asked for some more information about how much funds they have available, and that will be forthcoming.
And it's usually any staff can apply to them, right?
Yep.
So for what they want. So if we have that, then that might be good that we can forward out too, like here's some type of things, if you're in need, hey, there's this much money, let's go after it.
Yeah, I did discuss with them too, just so I had a better understanding and can be a better liaison between the district and the foundation of, how exactly that all works, because I don't understand it yet, but I'm glad to get that information and help foster that communication between the school and the board.
Because technically, we are not members, we are just a liaison, and we
correct.
don't make any decisions for them.
Correct.
If I could just add, I completely spaced it until we mentioned about scholarships. BYC is also offering 2 scholarships to seniors who have helped throughout their high school year, so we do scholarships too.
And the Booster Club's gonna have one next year too. Thanks for
you.
reminding me.
Help the kids. Okay, so that's committee reports. Before we go to executive session, since we do have one of our new hires here, we're going to recognize him and approve, what, no, what? So he doesn't have to wait until after executive session, since he has already waited so good for almost an hour. So I'm going to move that,
12J4.
12J4, okay, yeah, I wasn't on the third page yet, okay. 12J4, okay. So I need a motion to approve the employment of Daniel Palin as junior high PE teacher.
So moved.
Second.
I'm just going to ask for the way I have it written here. Flickling.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Congratulations.
You look good in orange. I'm sorry?
Did we get the right twin? I just want to make sure.
We're gonna find out in a year if we got the right twin.
Congratulations.
And we'll offer, well, we're going to executive session, so you're good too, but you're more than welcome. You don't have to stay. You're more than welcome to leave. Okay. And then I need a motion to proceed to executive session for the purpose of 5 ILCS 120-2C1.
So moved.
Second.
Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri. Yes. Flickling.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. So we are back out of executive, oh wait, are you ready?
Wait.
Okay,
You're
back out of executive session at 7:29 PM on April 8th. We're moving on to new business portion of the meeting. So, here we go. I need a motion to approve the seal coating. Oh wait, do we have any questions? I should ask that first. Do you have any questions about the seal coating for the elementary and high school parking lots?
Here, let me clarify. We'll do it this way.
Okay.
So this is for the west lot, the west teacher lot of the elementary. It is for the east teacher lot at the high school, and it's for the student lot at the high school as well. It does include patching of certain 4 spots in particular, and I'm also going to have them repair. There's a piece of asphalt missing over at the junior high. We're going to have them do that as
I was
well.
gonna say, didn't we skip junior high last year too?
I don't remember.
Well, it's on a regular rotation.
But I remember the
Every
junior high, we
2-3
skipped an
years.
extra
Yeah.
year because it doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't get tore up as much.
Well, the other thing is when you lay new asphalt, you should run it 2 years back to back, so
Right.
that's probably what happened.
Okay.
So, but that's.
I just saw it not on there again, and I was like, man, I feel like we bumped it again last time, but it may be all running together.
But, well, we have a lot of other construction over there, so yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
That's
okay.
what it's about.
So I need a motion to approve the seal coating for the elementary at $7,350 and the high school at $10,800 for the parking lots.
So moved.
Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Flickling.
Yes.
Piachenko. Yes. Motion carried.
Next we have our bids for roofing for the elementary school.
So we had 6, I think it was 6 people who bid. The lowest bid was unable to meet the specs that we asked for. There's a particular material that we need put in. It's called GAF. It's currently what's in the newer portion of that, and had we not continued to use that, it would have affected our warranty on the older portion of it, and so that is one of the required specs. The low bidder is not trained in that specific method or form, so the next lowest bidder is, and so that's why it's Total Roofing.
Okay.
Who will pay prevailing wage, I will ensure.
And this will be done this summer.
Yes, yeah, probably in June is what we're hoping to get it started in.
Do we know if the HVAC units will have to be detached and?
Yes. Yes.
Does GRP?
So last year, when Total Roofing did this area, that was part of it. They came out. It wasn't GRP. It was, well, it's one of the subcontractors that GRP uses. They did come out. They disconnected it. They got the crane out and removed that as well. I do not believe that is portion of their bid because it's not the roofing company, it's.
Right, I guess that was
yeah.
my question. Do we have somebody to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's probably gonna be, Trico, probably, I think they're doing it done.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the total roofing bid for $173,954 for the elementary school roof.
So, second.
Before the vote, just a reminder, we do have a $50,000 small maintenance grant that will cover a portion of that, and that money is being funded by the bond, the debt certificate, so make sure that's out there as well. Sorry, go ahead. Yes, I am.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores? Yes. Mazurik?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Yurchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up were flooring bids for the elementary.
We only had 2 there, and the low bidder didn't provide us the bond, and they just didn't satisfy the requirement either, so. They actually, there was a union rep at that public opening. He actually said that Carpet Weavers is a very good company, he's worked with them before. So it was nice to see that they were happy and we're happy, so. Same thing, they're looking to probably start in June or July, even though we have an end date sometime in August, they're gonna get
Because it won't be as big an issue as before because they can move everything out of that hallway since it's just one.
And there's no asbestos,
Yeah.
so that's the big thing, so, yep.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the Carpet Weavers bid for $71,285 for the elementary school flooring.
So moved. Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores? Yes. Mazurik?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Yurchenko? Yes. Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next is an acknowledgement of our 10-year staff that will start in the school year 24-25. We have a couple of them, so I need a motion to approve tenure for school year, what?
Can
Yeah.
we take John here now? Separate.
Separate them out?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make it into 2. Okay, so I need, what?
Just for reference, John actually already has tenure, it just wasn't recognized
Oh,
last year.
yeah.
But no, still do it in formality's sake,
Yeah.
but, just so you know, if you're gonna vote no on John, you can't. But, please do.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve tenure for school year 24-25 for Megan Davis, Daniel Winter, Danielle Harrigan, Jenna Lakebecker, Jessica Carter, Jillian Hawk, and Myrna Mueller.
So moved.
Second.
Flores?
Yes.
Mazurik?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Yurchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the tenure for the school year 24-25 for John Herron.
So moved.
Second.
Mazurik?
Yes.
Flickling?
Abstain?
Yurchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up, I need a motion to approve the rehiring of non-tenured staff as presented.
So moved.
Second.
These two are fighting tonight. I like it.
Mazurik?
Yes.
Flickling?
Yes.
Yurchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up, we have an amended school year calendar for 24-25. You want to discuss what was amended?
Absolutely. So in the calendar, it's, there's 181 days, and when I was putting the calendar in for next year in the ROE system, it came up with 180. And so it was just a simple error that is easy to fix. So we're going to be moving the the May Institute Day to the day before Casimir Pulaski, which right now is an emergency day. That will still be a 4-day weekend for our students, which our families can now plan
Yeah.
effectively, or I can't use this as a snow day now.
Yeah.
And then that Institute Day, May, I can't remember what it is next year, maybe 7th, is now a regular student day. And so that now satisfies all the requirements of our school calendar, and it actually doesn't affect our families too much. I doubt anybody's taking a family vacation in the middle of May and on a Wednesday. And it might even help some families out with childcare.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the amended school year 24-25 school calendar as submitted.
So,
Second. Flipping,
Yes.
Piachenko. Yes. Hanson,
yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This is really bad of me, I'm sorry. I also added 2 half-days in there for the end of quarter to help with development as well, because we have the minutes, we actually have more minutes. We could have taken a lot more, but I added those 2 in there. There are 2 Fridays at end of third quarter and end of second, end of first and end of third quarter. There's now a Friday half-day. So we did that to make sure that we can kind of clean those grading periods up. Sorry, I know you voted on it. That was really, I'm not trying to slide it in on you. I promise you.
Next up is needing legal representation for a tax assessment. You want to clarify on that?
Yeah, so right now, Izzo, Petrarca, and Gleason is these schools' representative in terms of law. And whenever somebody wants to, a company, I'm not saying it's Waltz, or we're going to say Waltz or Buddies or whomever wants to say, hey, our assessment is not right. We're appealing the assessment to the Lowell County. And then they send it to us, say, hey, you have a right to petition it as a government body. Right now, our legal team doesn't have the authority to represent us, even though they're our legal team. So what this is allowing us to now do is, if someone is questioning the assessment of their property, and we want to file a stay, or if we want to have a say in it, we can now actually have Mr. Gleason's office represent the school district, which is a lot better than having me do it, because they know a lot more than I do. So that's what the resolution's for. So your lawyers can actually represent you as lawyers.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the authorization of Izzo, what's the P? Petrarca and Gleason to represent Beecher 200U regarding tax assessments.
So moved.
Second.
Piachenko.
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then next is a newer SOWIC resolution with an 18th revision. What is the 18th revision?
So the 17th one, which is the first one they had in years, you guys approved 2 months ago, that was the ability for SOWIC to borrow money, and so districts should be part of that. Well, what 200U is, we're not going to borrow money for this, we are going to pay it off ahead of time. Well, that's not in the resolution number 17, so number 18 allows for school districts to pay ahead of time or to borrow money. So it's just kind of cleaning up just fun stuff. It's resolutions. So that's what this one's for, to allow us to pay, allow SOIC to receive payments in full.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve a SOIC resolution 18th revision as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Hanson,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Piachenko.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next up is the need for a new fuel administration system that we use with other parts of the village.
So you guys have an IGA, it's the fuel agreement, it's with the village, with the township, the fire department. I don't know, I feel like there's one more.
Police
DJ Township.
Department.
Well, the police is part of the village, public works is part of the village. Maybe it's just the 4. Village, yeah, it is just the 4. Village, fire department, township, and then us. We use 47% of the fuel out of that system, and then the other ones comprise the 53%. The village is like 25%, and then the townships are like 10 each. It's minuscule. So when we looked at the system, I gave you guys the quote from the system, from the company. And then, because I'm the president or the chair of that committee, I simply looked at it and said, we use 40% of the fuel. Our portion should be $9,617. Village, yours is, I'm making up numbers now, 5,000 some, and then the other 2 entities, $1,200, $1,500. Well, the village actually stepped up because they had money left over in their public works, transportation budgeting, and they actually put forth $10,000 into it. So we didn't change any of the other numbers, and what that's going to do is allow us to then have a little bit of reserve to pay for tanks if they go by. And so like I said, our portion is $9,617 for the system, and it's gonna be a heck of a lot better. I think the old system's 20 years old. It's kind of like the key systems are on here. It's on my computer that's, well, it's probably like on a BlackBerry or something. So that's what it's for.
And when will that be done? Do we have a
That system?
time frame? Yeah. So maybe summerish, I'm guessing, or?
So it's an electronic system. I would have to double check once we get approval of it. It shouldn't take too long, so I'm gonna guess by the summer.
Yeah. Okay. I need a motion to approve the purchase of the fuel administration system with the village for a cost of $9,617 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Herman,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next we're on to the employment section. I guess I should have asked about that in executive if anyone had questions, huh? Oops. Okay. I guess if we have certain questions, do we need to go back to executive or?
You would have to.
Yeah, okay, so sorry we left that off. Does anyone have anything that we need to discuss for the renewals of the contracts for the high school principal, student service coordinator, transportation supervisor, or the, resignation? Well, we talked about that.
Just so you, I can say in no possession, all three of them are the exact number that you guys gave me in executive session. There was no, what you guys told me is exactly what they took, so.
Does anyone have the need to go back into executive session or good to move on? Okay. So first up, I need a motion to approve the renewal of Mike Meyer's contract as high school principal.
So moved. Second.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Diachenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, I need a motion to approve the renewal of Don Compton's contract as student services coordinator.
So moved.
Second.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Diachenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, I need a motion to approve the renewal of Kelly Delaney's contract as transportation supervisor.
So moved.
Second.
You can have it.
You have an eclipse or flipping over there, just left and right.
She's like, let's get it done.
Extra vacation.
Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping.
Yes.
Diachenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Motion carried.
And then I need a motion to acknowledge the resignation of Emily Hayhurst as an elementary school aide.
So moved.
Second. Diachenko. Yes. Hanson.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Belt.
Yes.
Flores. Yes. Missouri.
Yes.
Flipping. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, next we are on to other discussion items. So, first one is the posting of the amended school budget.
So, again, you're not agreeing to anything, you're not approving anything, it's simply letting you guys know that the amended budget is well, right now updated. It's gonna continue to be updated from now until you formally approve it in the May board meeting, but just as letting you guys know, it's gonna be in the Vidette on Thursday, and then we'll have a finance meeting sometime next month, well, sometime between now and May.
Be on display in the district office.
It's also gonna be on display in the district office, just like the regular budget. I agree, Mandy, that's how I feel about budgets as well. So, just kinda giving you guys a heads up, so when it comes out and says, hey, I saw this, yeah, it's being posted. And the primary reason behind it needing to be posted is obviously the bond. I think if we didn't have the bond, we were well within that scope of that 10% buffer that is the magic number with ISB, that we wouldn't actually have to do an amended budget, so. It's posted, we'll have a finance meeting, kinda dig into some questions you guys have about it, and then approve it in May.
Okay. Next up is janitorial services for the school year 24-25. Do we have enough to do it, or are we happy to outsource it again?
We definitely don't have enough employees to serve it. We're outsourcing it right now. We have 3 bids in pocket. We're waiting on a 4th one. I'm very happy with one of them right now. I've actually called numerous references on them, and all of them has had glowing reviews. Everyone we've met with, or Mike's met with, we've been very honest with them that It hasn't been the most successful couple of years. Not saying that that company can't do better, and they're gonna bid it as well, but I will provide you guys a new updated bid next month.
And do we still have, postings for like, do we still
yeah.
post to try to get, okay, I wasn't sure if once we did that, we were just like, we haven't been getting anyone, if we still haven't posted, we still try.
We had somebody who was interested in being a substitute janitor, so like we said, sure, we'll give you 4 hours of what we can offer you right now. But, I mean, to actually staff those buildings, I would need 5 people.
Yeah. But I didn't know, like, before, if we even still had it posted since we didn't get any interest last time. I mean, like you said, you kinda have to get all 5
Yeah.
or none, because you either have to outsource it or not.
Yeah, kinda like instructional aids, it's always open,
Okay.
just whether or not we're hiring.
Okay. And then next, I had emailed, asking about inquiring on the board seat requirements, about bringing up the discussion, on if, I know it's been brought up around the community before, how we have, county seats and town seats, about if that's needed anymore, or if we wanna try to see what we can do, to do away with it, or if we don't even wanna inquire into it, just kind of gauge discussion, because I know it gets brought up every time kind of around election time, and it's never really talked about with the board. So I figured we'd kind of see what the requirements were, if we were even interested in doing it. Talking about, are we even interested in doing it, maybe putting feelers out to the community to see. I wanna say it's a referendum, it would have to be, so I mean, it has to be voted on anyway, it's not something that we can decide, but we can decide whether or not we're going to pay a lawyer to do it.
So you need a resolution to change it from 5 village to unincorporated to 7 at large is what it would change to. The Illinois State Code is right now is why you have the 2 unincorporated seats, because according to Mr. Gleason, before 1975, if your school was established before 1975 and you were more than X amount of square miles, you had to have that within school code. But he said, if it's one of those things that your school district, the people out there don't feel it's a necessity anymore, you can change it through, but it's only through referendum. So,
And actually, you can't have less than
correct.
2.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
have more.
The entire board could be
Yeah,
country, but.
Correct. Yep, and that's another thing people always get confused by.
Yeah.
Right.
Is, well, I can only, again, because I know you're in the
Right.
country, I can vote for Larry and Ashley. Oh, never mind, Brandy, you're in town, I can't vote for you. No, that's-
well,
that's not- yeah.
the bad part is there's always like 10 for town, and there's a couple for country, and everyone does like 3 town, and it's like, you forgot the country people.
Well, it's
But it is very confusing on the ballot. Every year country seats are up, it is a hot mess with the community.
But they
and trying to
always
explain.
word it poorly
Yes,
on
yes.
the
very true.
The ballot.
ballot.
Very true. And then there's a lot of misinformation put out there in the community on how that all works. I mean, I don't know, and maybe, you know, from the people who are the country seats, do you feel that there is a reason that the country should be represented differently, you know, in the community than, you know, having, you know, 7 board members at large?
My only thought on it is, it's like if you have Crete money, and you have so many from Crete, so many from Minnie, so many from the area, it is, if you look at it like that, it is kind of, our town is split, like you have village and you have unincorporated. We don't pay the same taxes as village does, like we don't, you guys vote on different things, we can't vote on trustees, those kind of things. That's my only kind of negative to that, is it is representing a different community that does have different, taxes and our, I don't know how to word it,
Well, it's also a different thing affect the country that,
yeah, that don't
That
apply
don't
to
apply.
people within the village. That's,
Right.
and as many people say, oh, there's a lot more people in town, it doesn't, you do have different, most of you're in the country, you have land, it's just different situations.
Probably your buses and.
Yeah, the transportation is a big thing that's more to the people that are not within town, because if you're within so many miles, you don't qualify.
Right.
So getting that voice represented on, you know.
It gives more of like a whole community view, like an all-inclusive instead of just, sorry guys.
Yeah.
But being in the country, has there ever been, I mean, I don't know, any time where you had to think about that with decisions?
my kids use transportation. I guess, so I always kind of think of that in the buses, and when we got new buses, knowing that, like, I mean, there were buses in the country before your time that had holes in the floor. Lots of people that have children in town weren't aware of that because they don't use those, but you know, those little things, but nothing that I think goes above and beyond. But that's the thing that you kind of have to look at, like, is it where you think it needs to do away, or is it just, I don't know. That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up and discuss it, because it always, around election time, it always comes up. And everyone's like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it, and we never do. And I was like, well, once again, election time's coming up. It's probably a little late to be changing the next board seat that is up, but it's something, like you said, it doesn't hurt to put feelers out there or see, because it does cost taxpayer money to do. It's not an exorbitant amount, but we do have to hire the lawyers to come up with that.
So, again, I'm completely out of this conversation because you seven are my bosses. I have no part in this conversation. So whatever you decide. But for timelines, as long as you have a board resolution done and voted on by August 28th, you can put it on the November ballot. If you wanted to put it on the April ballot, which is an odd year, which is actually the board election ballot, if you wanted to do it then, I'd have to get more clarification on if it did pass, if it took effect on that cycle, or if you would have to wait until, I don't actually know that.
You have to wait till, I called to ask, because somebody had asked me that question.
Oh, okay.
So I Googled, and they
So
said.
if it's on the November ballot, it would take
and no matter
effect.
when we do it, it would only take effect in 2027. You have to wait for the
Oh,
full
so it wouldn't
election
be on the
cycle.
next cycle?
Which is nice, so we have a little bit of time to have that conversation about what people want, because there are a lot of people who have told me, like, it doesn't really matter where you live, because like your school taxes are your school taxes. There's no difference in my vote for one or the other, because the decisions made here affect everybody equally. Whereas village elections do not, because in the country you don't vote for the same, so the school board elections, the decisions made are equal, and only having, I guess some people thought like there's only 2 guaranteed seats. So like when the 4 of us got elected, I don't think some people realized that you could have been elected from the country as well. Like they could have gone 4 country.
Yeah.
So it's not like the seats are
It's always worded,
guaranteeing
yeah.
that it's 5-2 theoretically. That's the way they split the number. So it's not like it's 4-3 or, you know, and maybe that is just people's, I don't know, they do word it so bad sometimes on there that I think it just causes some confusion.
And I do like that it's not our choice. Like if it's a referendum,
Right.
it gets voted, then it gets voted. I mean, so that's kind of my personal feeling on it.
Put it out there and see.
I can see why it was set up and why there is a reason for the situations. And I mean, I'm not trying to pit town and country against each other,
Right.
but a lot of your mindsets and even values a little bit are different, because you do have where you're more farmers, or you're more, you know, you have land, it's the time constraints, even just little things, and it may not, but it is a different aspect and view for a lot. Now some, you just have an acre or 2 in the country and you have it's kind of similar, but when you've got a lot and you're doing farm and stuff like that, and in the older days it was a little bit different, because you had the kids that had to do the farm. I mean, when I was a kid, that's what we had to do. That doesn't really happen a lot. We've got some farm families, but nowhere near what it used to be.
And I just think it's different, because this conversation comes up every year.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it is different nowadays.
Yeah.
It's technology, like, it's not like there's a division, like, because we don't, like, we need someone to be the liaison between the
Correct.
country and here
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
We don't, like, we're all, Beecher is Beecher, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, of course there's differences, but for the school, it's
Those differences, I
It's-
don't think affect the school.
correct.
We can
Yes.
communicate through social media, through phone calls, through Power School. Everyone has easy access to everything. And like, even the transportation, you still take the bus if you live within a half a mile of the school, if you live across Route 1. So I think a lot of the concerns can still be addressed regardless of where you live, because I think we're all just used to the way the community is. So
Yeah.
like, even though I may not live out in the country, I still can get their concerns, and everyone's informed of everything. So I see why they needed it when they needed it, because life was so different.
Yeah, nowadays, I
don't-
think it's, I mean, again, there's still that, but I feel like now it's different.
And that could be something to put out there and be like, is this something that a majority of people want, or do they still want the way it is? And either one's a right or wrong answer.
I mean, and I feel too, you know, like I said, first is the confusion, and second is you're picking the people who you want to represent your community by election. So when we have this one year, it, you know, it could be anyone, and 1 year we have to have two, you know, 2 country seats,
It might
then
be who
it's
you
automatic,
want.
you're not, it's not who everyone chooses. It could, you could have 5 different candidates, and your lowest could be the candidate because they are the county seat. So it's not really you know, it's not, the
Very
village
true.
doesn't get to, or the, you know, Beecher and, you know, the outlying, you know, township doesn't get to choose who they want to represent them. It's that person may
Get it no matter.
by default.
Yes.
You should have.
But I think the whole thing is because the town has a majority of the people, then
It would automatically get voted
they
in.
would automatically get voted in.
I could see that too. Yeah, because the discrepancy.
Yeah.
Because even if everyone in town and
Right.
country voted, town would win.
Town would win.
Because there's 3 times as many people.
Right,
So is that
I think-
unfair? If you put it to a vote, you're pretty much saying, we're
Right.
doing away with it.
right.
True, true.
And I think that was part of the whole reason for setting it up that way in the first place.
To ensure that they had
To
an adequate
ensure that
voice and
there was a voice,
representation,
yes.
because you want, well, yeah, and also you don't, I mean, I guess now if you do signs and stuff and you do them in town, but like,
Yeah.
for you don't see
Yeah, but I
anything
mean,
in the
you
country
could
unless
still,
you go.
Like, yeah, you'd still run the same, and you
Yeah.
put, you know, it's different now because, you know, people have to, you know, put yourself out there on social media and put up your signs and do those, you know, same things. You have to put your information and yourself, you know, out there, and I think that maybe the opportunity for that used to be different as well. Yeah, you're not, if you live in the country, maybe you're not as well known in, you know, as a person in town, but, you know, but.
So when I had brought it up to Dr. Gaham, his idea had kind of been, because we do have, even if we want the November ballot until August, kind of do the where we kind of take it back and put it out to the community on pros or negatives and kind of what do you hear as far as that goes. Because we do have time before we do have to make a decision on.
Can you also find out like what the voter is between town and country? Like the voter turnout, just to see
We could probably
if
call
that would
them.
be a case.
I'm sure the Will County Elections Office has.
Yeah, has the numbers.
You know, just to
I can
see
get
this-
precinct numbers.
Yeah,
That-
like
that-
just to say,
I'm
well,
sure it's out there, yeah.
yeah, well, precincts and
Well,
things, those are low.
I don't
There's
know
only
if I'm
2.
able to find out where somebody lives based, I mean, I can tell you where they report. I mean, your precincts are real,
No, my
No, there's only 2.
Yeah.
I literally moved a mile and my precinct changed from Washington Township to like in town.
Mhm.
And I went from one subdivision to the other.
They should have.
I can try to
Yeah.
figure it out. I can't promise you anything, but
Just out of curiosity, I mean,
Yeah.
and then that maybe, you know, is the voter turnout.
I'll send Katie door to door.
You don't
Because
want,
I didn't think about what Larry said.
Yeah.
I would,
you don't want to unfairly
that would be
skew
us,
anything.
yeah, and that would be us making the decision for them. If you really
Correct.
think about it,
Correct.
there's no way you can, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, even though my viewpoint is just take it, you get to do with it, but then you're changing a statute that's been in place for decades, and it doesn't hurt anything to have. But does it hurt to take away? I don't know.
And find out how much a
Yeah.
referendum or would cost us to do.
Oh, I'm guessing
a couple
$1,000.
$250 an hour for however long it takes them to write it.
Right fast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let them know.
You have to write it in 15 days.
I don't know, maybe put out, I don't know if you could put out a survey or
I
something.
was just
to
gonna say,
ask.
what about a survey?
Just to see if that is, because it's always something you hear in pockets, but you don't know if that's like an actual overwhelming.
But even if you did a survey, it would only be
Right.
the kids, people that had kids, and there's probably more kids in
Right.
town than out of town.
Don't know if that may be a village thing.
But village would only be within town.
Yeah.
That's the,
Village and
yeah.
Township,
Mhm. That'd be the township then, yeah.
both. Well, yeah, if you're just getting the country's opinion, but.
Yeah. That's something to ponder.
Okay, well, that's all I put on there, just because it always comes up, and it always seems like it gets pushed back, like, it never gets talked about. I'm like, let's just at least talk about it, put it out there and figure out what it is, because it seems like you said every time it has election, someone asks questions, why don't you just change it? It's like, this is why, because it's not just us changing it.
This is actually the first I've ever heard, like, I've never asked about it, never heard anything of it until tonight. So I wonder how many people
Right, actually.
are interested. Or if it's just one of those random
Yeah.
questions.
I think it's a lot of times it's a random question because of how it's worded on the ballot. Even when the 4 seats were up, there are people who are like, well, voting like, oh, so I have to pick from here, or can I pick?
No.
I don't think
Yeah,
people
and-
know what to do. So I
And
think it's
again,
always.
when misinformation gets put out there on Facebook, because then it's like somebody doesn't understand it, somebody thinks they understand it, and so they're like, how does this work? And then it's like, well, no, that's not right. So I don't know, I guess that's, there's a lot
And
of.
that just
Stone,
confuses
and
everybody else
it's-
more.
Right?
Okay, next is the high school drive lighting. I know, like, all of us, every time we come to the high school, bother you or Mr. Meyer. I think I did it last time at the dance. I'm like, it is so dark and dangerous here. Every time I come, you forget about it. Like, you don't come during night, and then once you do, you're like, oh my gosh, how did these kids not get run over?
So a pole is between $5,000 to $6,000 a piece. And so if you were looking to add lighting at the end of this drive, it would be at least 3 poles. So you're looking around $18,000 for lighting to start out with.
But when we have games, I mean, it's just games and dances and stuff. I know I say it, but it is just
Argument, I'm just
so,
telling you.
I know, I'm just so crazy dangerous.
What
Because
about-
those kids are darting around and, oh.
What about signage? Because like today I almost got hit pulling into the high school drive. Because someone was going the wrong way.
Oh, wait, it's bad,
I
too.
mean,
It's horrible.
oh, no, we actually put a big sign up there now that says do not enter. Put it on the backside of the stop sign. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot sign.
I didn't see it.
It's literally,
I was going the right way. I was going the right way.
And most of it is, I don't think they're Beecher people. Like you kind of know who the baseball, soccer, like
So-
you kind of know your sport parents.
what I've reached out to Charity, she's the village administrator now, and she has talked to the village. One of the things I would like to do, and I gotta do a spec with a sign company. Someone can do it for her. What I wanna do is, I think a big issue is when you Google our address,
Yes, it takes
it's
you.
538 Miller Street. So
Right.
everybody goes down Miller Street and says, oh, shenanigans, I need, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
And it's not like you can just go around the
Right.
block. You gotta
So
go.
there's a village sign that says Hodges. It's a 3 foot sign.
Yeah.
What I've asked them to do is if we could hang below that a sign that says Beecher
Athletic fields.
Athletic Fields and High School, that way.
Yes.
Mike Meyer
Or
actually
athletic
came up
parking.
with paw prints. Can we put, I said, no, because it's Route 1, you can't put paw prints.
Oh.
But
Like
we put
Mantino
paw
does.
prints.
We talked about
Oh, man.
paw prints,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah, Mantino has an amazing secret. If you ask Lisa, that's what she'll say.
We talk about it.
Who's
But no, the
tell you
village,
how to-
yeah, the village says we can't do Route 1, but we could do Hodges if we wanted. But I'm looking at maybe getting a sign, a big,
Like athletic field parking, athletic parking.
yeah.
Ernest
and-
Stevens, yes.
Yeah, and
Beecher
hopefully
High
Do you wanna know what my idea was?
block off.
Tire spikes. You go the wrong way.
You will have FedEx every day.
Because if you go the right way, they don't do anything.
And I don't even want to make more work for anybody, but something, like, I know some schools send out like 8 to 18 or even post on the website.
Brandon does every time.
Yeah,
Every time, I mean.
I'm sure.
The opposite, the other schools are inundated with, this is where we're, plus most of them, how many times have they been
Yeah.
to Beecher? But you're right, I mean, we can continue.
But I think the big thing is
You're right.
if you come that way, it's not like you can even see where to turn. So if you were coming from a different town and you're like, how do I even get there? You would never know to go all the way past the creek and then all the way around and then
It'd be like
then figure out how to get there because it's another street over
Yeah.
for the high school. It's not even
Yeah.
Hodges. Like I get it. It's just a bad situation that
And
we've been
that's not
lucky.
even our athletic fields because soccer's still technically Miller Street because you're parking in the student drive.
Yeah.
So it's,
I think you
but
should-
that's the thing I want to do, try to get us a village. They seem that willing to listen to it, but I gotta give
We
them the
definitely need more
specs.
signage for that. As for the lighting, it is definitely needed. Now, is it something we do this year? I don't know if is that, is this fiscally responsible to do this year? I definitely need to be on the list for sometime soon. I don't know.
Basketball games, it is pitch black at 9:30.
Yeah, it's definitely dangerous. Like it's bad out there.
I don't know what they're called. What about, might look a little tacky, but for the time being, like, what does a mobile light cost?
Floodlights?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you know what I'm talking
they're
about,
on
construction
wheels,
ones?
Like
Yeah.
And so they can light up an area for a short period of time.
Probably cost as much as.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
having-
guarantee it's probably like $1,000 a time. They're crazy.
Rental fees.
Yeah. And I mean, an idea that I had, but I didn't even know if it would be strong enough that I talked to you was adding lighting to the building. Is that cheaper or anything?
So, I mean, we're looking to well, I'm not looking, because we're doing the journey. We'll update the exterior lights to LEDs, which will help that out. But, I mean, this, you're still.
Yeah, there's no way to
Right.
make it that
I mean,
bright.
it's that- yeah, it's, even if you put up, and you can't really put a spotlight that way because there's homes there. And
Yeah. Yeah,
Put that on my,
yeah.
you know, it generally has to be a pole that is out there.
Like you said, maybe not soon, but maybe we can find some kind of grant or funding or budget it in the next budget to be able to add 1 or 2 or something.
A safety grant or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe it's
Could be the answer.
And then,
Can I ask a question? This might be weird, but would we think about switching the direction of the drive?
Well, why is it 2 ways?
It's not.
I mean,
It's
one
like,
way. Why
isn't
is
it?
it one way? Not to step over your question, but why is it one
No, I
way?
mean, it's legitimate. I don't think there was
I think it's
enough-
related to,
There's not enough space.
The elementary school.
well, maybe elementary school, but it's a student cross, and I guess that they don't want to have to worry about kids
When
coming
they're
from both
looking both.
directions. It's really not, I mean, it's really not wide enough for 2 directions and parking.
With parking.
Yeah.
Because all the
Especially
lines
when
are like
people
this,
park on the
so
side
it's
of the
like,
building.
maybe that's a good idea.
What?
Maybe instead of having the line straight, angle them
So.
for the way to
it
drive.
used to be,
Okay,
and when they repaved it,
because is it getting
the
repaid?
person who did, no.
Okay, or seal
know.
coated.
Person made the decision, because I think you could sneak a couple more spots in, made it perpendicular parking, not angled parking. I was not part of that decision, so.
Because then you kind of have to only go one way because you can only get
No,
in the parking
people-
spots
no,
that way.
people come
Well,
through.
yeah, but
But what's worse about
it's a
that,
little more evident though, you know?
Correct.
right, but when you're angled and everybody's angled this way, you know it's one way.
Yeah,
With it
yeah,
being
that's
this
what I-
way,
yeah.
it makes it even
Yeah.
worse. It does.
But if we change the direction of the drive, then people are coming this way anyway, and then they'll exit out that way, and that might alleviate some of the congestion, because then you have people coming out of the high school parking, like that other
I
student
think
lot.
that was the congestion with people
Elementary.
going
The elementary.
into the elementary, and then you kept
Yeah, it was
people
too
leaving
many.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Because when you show up at like 4,
Right.
4:30, then there's people
Got
at the
it.
elementary and the high
That
school.
makes
It's
sense.
just-
It's been a long time since I've been at the elementary.
I think you have 6 problems and half a dozen.
are
others.
still very
Yeah.
monstrous in the morning.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
pick up.
So
Well,
spice
something
it
to
in.
maybe look into, or when we have to,
Best idea.
when you re-seal coat, all the lines have to be repainted, right?
Right
Yeah.
now.
So are we seal coating?
No.
No.
Okay.
That-
Whenever we seal coat,
That'd be next
let's
year.
change it back to angle. I don't care if we're losing a couple spots. I've never seen it full.
Yeah. it's-
Have you never been?
Well,
to
I've never
Expo?
seen it full during the school
It's
day.
popping.
Sorry,
Yeah.
during the school day. Yes, after
Everybody
school,
comes
but you
to
know what?
listen
I'd
to
rather
superintendent's
get rid of those 2 spots and make it a little safer than have those 2 spots.
Okay.
I
Have
think
someone
the
park on the
village
street.
sign, if they can put
Yeah.
something on Rock
We
Wall.
need signage
That
for
would be-
anything.
Yeah, I need to draw.
Signs everywhere, really big.
Okay, and
I
then,
need as a.
something we
3-foot
didn't
line.
have on the discussion
lights,
was,
bright.
I know it had been brought up, the blue lights, the blue safety light that hooks
Oh,
to the police
yes.
station. You had inquired on how much that would cost?
I did. I got that quote back. It's $200,000. So
Forget my truck.
And that's all the schools?
that's all 3 schools.
That's all 3 schools.
It's 28 pole stations. It's the technology. So that's substantial. But yeah, 198,000 and some change.
Okay, so not something that's doable now, but
Depends on
maybe if they
there's
come a
safety
magical grant, yeah,
I
or
have
something like
this-
that, like keep it in mind
Another
that that's,
safety
you know.
grant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked at Mr. Drum, who works for Second Spanner, is the one, he's looking at some grants, because he also looked at the access points for me. And when I talked to him today, he says, where are you at financially with both of those? I said, no on both, find some grants.
Yeah.
And so, I'll see him at the end of the month, up in Schaumburg, so I'll talk to him.
Okay. And then, do we have an update on our clear system, how that has worked? Is working, still working good, still?
Yeah, cleaning up the last few bugs and making sure that it's ready to go. But we're all good. I think we're probably gonna send something out to families either at the end of April or the first week of May.
Okay.
So you'll have a formal email saying you've been cleared or you have not been cleared.
About how many?
had a few weeks, Mr. Herman. Probably, I think last time I told you it was probably 13 families. We might be up to 18 families, you know, especially when you have new move-ins. The Clear system really doesn't have enough data to support. You know, if I just registered 3 weeks ago, or if they weren't on my run that time, so probably about 18 to 20 families. But still, not the 1,000 kids that we had before.
Yeah.
So, should be good.
We have items for our May 13 board meeting. We will be approving the amended budget that we talked about earlier, and we will be approval of a food service contract.
Correct. So we did have a pre-bid meeting, pre-bid meeting, and only one company showed up to it. So, no, it's the company.
Is it the one that we?
Is it to be used?
It's the one we currently employ.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's good.
Now, I remember last time when we talked about this, we had talked about doing it in-house. And we had talked to the cook or someone in Grant Park. Is that even on the table for this go-round?
It is not. So I had a conversation before we went through this bid process, because it's a lengthy process. That person is very happy with what they're doing right now and doesn't want to make it.
Okay, I just remember last year it was, you check back next year, so I'm checking.
I blame Dr. Palin 100% as well.
It's okay, we sold a son.
We started doing any interviews for the 2nd and 5th grade.
That was in her board report from Miss Black. She has started kind of doing them, not yet. She wanted to wait till after spring break.
Gotcha.
So she's taken applications, but the interviewing process is starting now. Because, and it may be maybe next week, like she may be giving another week for other people on spring break, but I knew she said after spring break.
Thursday, okay.
Okay, and then we don't have anything else that needs to be added. I know upcoming dates would be finance meeting, but is there a time you want to do that? I know you said before the next board meeting. Does it need to be sooner rather than later?
Who's my finance director?
Me?
Oh, hey.
And I think it's Larry and Mandy. I think, yeah.
So just in case I want to share. And then put an alert so it comes to me.
I can't do the last week in April. I'll be up in Schaumburg at a conference, so I can't do that.
No next week?
But I can do, what's next week? Yeah, I can do next week.
Well, I know May starts getting crazy for everyone.
There's nothing in
Apparently my wife has jury
It's
duty.
like they're trying to pull us.
There isn't any, they don't play in the
They
same.
finally
Because
covered.
there's nothing.
No, I'm fine with, I'm open, just like most of that week.
Yeah.
What about, is anyone open like next Wednesday? At like 4 or 4:30? 17th?
April 17th.
Thursday the 20. Wait, what date is that? Oh, I'm looking March. Oh my gosh.
April
No.
17th?
We have a game at Coal City.
Wednesday?
I probably can't make that one, but
Can or cannot?
cannot.
Okay, we can use a different one. I'm just trying to pick,
Thursday,
The 18th is a early dismissal, and I have to after.
Tuesday.
Can't do the other week, so now we're into May. Anytime in May?
Well, I can do April, the 22nd or the 23rd. Just, I'm in negotiations on the 24th and then off the rest of the week.
Okay.
23rd.
22nd or 23rd of April?
I can do the 23rd.
23rd at like
That's because
4:30 or 4? Which one works better?
I can get here at like 4:01.
How about let's do?
That's just fine. I can
Yeah.
come straight here, but
That's what I said, that's
it'll be
me
like
too.
4:01,
That's-
4:02.
Usually mine's right at 4, so if stuff
Yeah.
goes bad, it's bad. So I don't care about doing 4:15 or 4:30, just to make sure you have a cushion. Because mine is if traffic is stopped on 394, I don't,
Well, I'll be right in front of you.
Okay.
4:15.
Yep. 4:15 finance, April 23rd. Finance meeting, 4:15. Okay, look at that. Getting stuff done for you.
Thank you.
Plan. Okay, so that's added on there with the board meeting. That's all we've got, right? You don't need any other committee meetings for anything? Okay, so next I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Okay, for
Sometimes longer ones, and it was still almost 2